Hi guys, this is a quick tutorial to create a new folder and a new document in Alfresco using Java. So the first thing that we need to do is that we need to create a project. We will be creating a simple Maven project. We will skip the archetype selection. The first thing that we need to do is give it a group ID followed by an artifact ID. I'll just keep it as Alfresco and Alfresco and finish. So let's create a class first. We'll create a class first. Create document. I'll include a main method inside it. Now inside the main method, the first thing that I need to do is the first thing that we require to do is that we need to create a session factory. Now before creating a session factory, let me just add the jar files. We are required to add some jar files so that we can use some predefined libraries of Alfresco. I'll be sharing a link of all these jar files in the description, so you people can go and download it from there. Okay. Now the first thing that we need to add is the session factory. The session factory will help us create a new session. Okay, session factory equals, now since session factory is an interface, we need to use the implementation class of it to instantiate it. Equals new instance. Now after creating a session factory, what we need to do is we need to create a session. But to create a session we need, let me just import the session factory. Okay, now to create a session we need a couple of things. We need the username, password and everything. So to pass all of those things, we are going to use map. Both the parameters, the key and value, both will be string in map. Let me just name it as parameter and equals to new hash map. Both of them will be string. Okay, now let me just import them quickly. Now what we need to do is we need to add parameters to create this session. So the first thing that we will be adding is the username. Okay, so the key will be session parameter dot user, and we will pass our username of Alfresco that we have. So the username of we will just take admin, the default one, and again we need to add just a moment. Okay, and this will be our password. Now the password of my admin is also password. Most probably if you're using the default one, you will also have admin as a password as well. Now after setting the username and password, what we need to do is we need to pass the URL. Now to pass the URL, what I will do is just give me a moment, it's taking too much time. I will write session factory dot atom URL. Okay, now inside this I will pass the URL. So I have already the URL. So this is the URL based upon the port number that you're using, since mine is running on 8080 port. I'm using this URL, and the next thing that we need to add is the binding type. Okay, so the binding type, okay, dot binding type, and the binding type will be binding type dot atom dot value. Okay, now after we are done with this much, this will help us, we can use these parameters to create a session. Now to create a session, first I'll create a session, and then now since session as well is an interface, we need to use we can use factory dot get repositories, and we can pass all the above parameters. These parameters we can pass over here. Yeah, so this will take the parameters, and the get index will be 0, and we'll ask it to create a session. Okay, now that we have established a session, now what we need to do is, the first thing is we need, okay, sorry, I need to import this. Yeah, the first thing that we are required to do is to get the root folder, and by root folder I mean the root folder of Alfresco. Okay, so I'll just name it root for better understanding. Root equals session dot get root folder. So this will get us the root folder of Alfresco. Now if you people have an Alfresco with you, so yeah, see, this is my Alfresco and this is the repository, and this is the root folder. As you can see, this repository is the root folder, and we will add a document over here, add a folder here first. We will add a folder named as my first folder. As you can see, it's not there. So yeah, after we got access to the root folder, what we need to do is we need to create a new folder. Now to create a new folder, we are going to do the same thing again. We are going to use map so that we can pass the properties, but this time we will use string as the key, but the value will be object, so that we can pass the object. I'll just name it properties equals to new hash map okay. Now after that, what I'll do is I'll put in the properties one by one. Properties dot put. Now the first thing that we need to put is what are we putting, like since we are putting a folder first, we are creating a folder first, we need to put a folder first. So it will be property IDS, just a moment, object, was it? Yeah, object type ID. Yeah, and it will be a CMIS folder. So we are telling Java to create a folder, and since we are creating a folder, we need to name it as well. So property IDS dot name, and the name of the folder I'm keeping as my first folder. Now with this, as you can see that we have put in the properties as well. Now we need to create this folder using this these properties. So I can write folder, one folder for the time being, one folder equals to root dot create folder. Now we can create a folder using the properties that we have added above. So I can just write properties. This will pass the properties, the key value pair. It will create a folder and it will create it using this name. Now to create a document, we will again do the same thing. We will use map to create a document as well. Okay, and here also I'll do the same thing. I'll just write properties 2 over here, 2 here and 2 here, and instead of folder I'll write documents. Okay, and here I will write my first document. So after creating the properties for the new document, what we will do is we need to add some data. So I'll create an array of byte and I'll name it as content, and inside that I'll just write, hi, this is techie codes, and I need to get bytes of it since I'm storing it in an array. Okay, now after that I will create an input stream to pass this content equals to new, since I'm passing the byte, so I will use byte array input stream, and inside it I'll pass the content. Now this content, I'll just import the input stream. I'll use the java.io, and the next thing that I'm required to do is I need to create a content stream. I'll just name it content stream. Now the content stream, the reason why I'm using content stream is because content stream is actually required to put this content inside the document. I'll just show you in a moment. And since it's an interface as well, I'll be using its implementation class. So the first parameter that we need to add is my first document. Just give me a moment. After that I need to add the index. Just give me a moment. Big integer dot value of. Now this will be the length of my content dot length. Okay, and I'll just write it down. Okay, now after that I need to mention that it's text plain, and then at the end I'll just pass this stream, the input stream that we have created. Let me just import. Okay, yeah, so after I've imported everything and the content stream is also created, the only thing remaining is that for us to create the document. So I'll create a document doc equals to, I'll write one folder dot create document. Now inside this document, the first thing that I'm going to pass is the properties. So this will be the properties that I will add, and after that I need to mention the version. Now the version that I'm writing right now is actually to tell Alfresco that when the document is created, the version should be a major version. So a major version is basically 1.0, 2.0 or 3.0. That is the major version. I need to import the document. Okay, and just I'll write document has been created. So this line, as you can see, it will create the document. The first one is used to pass the properties, the second one will help us write the content inside the document, and this third one will set the version ID, version number in the Alfresco document, in Alfresco, sorry. Okay, now what we'll do is we'll just run it. Okay, now let me just go ahead and test our code. I'll just right click, run as a Java application. Okay, so it says that the document has been created. I'll just go back to my Alfresco and just give me a moment. Let me just refresh the entire page, and as you guys can see that the folder has been created, my first folder. Let me just go inside it, and inside it there is a new document, and you can see that the version number, this is a major version number 1.0, that has also been mentioned over here. And if I open the document, let's see what's inside the document. Yeah, and you can see that hi, this is techie codes has also been displayed. So yeah guys, thank you for watching my video, and please like and subscribe if you like my content, and I'll be uploading more Alfresco videos in future. Thanks for watching. Bye.